So I post the recordings on my YouTube channel, which is my name, Stani Meredith, and you can look for it there and find it, and I'll try to remember to post a link on the discussions as well. All right, let's look at the syllabus being the first day of class. My office hours are Tuesday 1 to 3 p.m. I teach all day on Monday and Wednesday, so I can't give office hours. So come on Tuesday 1 to 3 if you need to talk to me, and always shoot me an email, and Kira is going to be available as well. And he's great and very responsive. So you should have a lot of help. I mean, there are a lot of resources. Sophia told you about the Java tutors and Sam. We have Kira. There will be additional tutors.
And there's also a couple of Java tutors that can be there. I think Deb comes in on Saturdays.
Who is that?
A gentleman from North Seattle who comes down here to tutor with Java.
Yeah. Maybe if you have the time and all the details, you can post this.
If we're having a meeting later this week, we'll find out the hours.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, but my office hours are Tuesday 1 to 3. My office 3176 H is right across from the Bitcoin division office. I have all kinds of cool programming cartoons posted, so that's how you look for about programming. That's going to be my office. That's my email, or you can email me through Canvas. Just don't send me any attachments to my email, please, because it will fill up my inbox. So this is object-oriented programming with Java. And one thing about this book I like, and I'm curious what you think about it, is that it takes more of a progressive enhancement approach. It introduces you through concepts enough to be able to do things, and then it drills down deep into the topic. So unlike many other books, we're going to talk about classes pretty much at the start of the quarter, and that's different. A lot of other books wait to chapter 10 to talk about objects. So you'll see what you think. I think it's a good approach, but again, I always like to hear feedback. All right, and so as usual, this is a beginning class, so we'll cover a lot of basic programming concepts and how to implement those in Java. Those of you who took Python, you'll find Java a lot more verbose, so there will be a lot more work you have to put to make something like formatting, for example, and that's just the nature of it. We're going to work with Eclipse, and it takes a little bit of learning to get used to it. It has its own approach. Everything is a workspace, so you can't just work with files. So you just have to get used to that and work with it. If you worked with Visual Studio, this might help a little bit.
Is Eclipse required as the IDE we use for this class, or can we use one that we're comfortable with?
As long
I
as
know the
don't
book
have to
says that
troubleshoot.
it's with.
Right, so we're going to be using Eclipse. I will not troubleshoot in, whatever you want to use, but you can use something else if you like. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So primitive types, control statements, strings, arrays, work with object-oriented methods, and hopefully we'll get into collections, generics, and just a little bit of lambdas. The textbook for this class is Murex Beginning Java. And by the way, I'm really excited because the Java 2 class, ITC 155, got approved, and I'll be teaching this in spring. So you can, if you love Java, you can take more Java in spring. And we'll essentially continue from here. The book comes with sample code we're going to use extensively in the class, so I'm going to, actually the first assignment will be, part of it will be to download the sample code and make sure to class can work with it. Told you about the video recordings. I've posted the link here, okay. Let's see. For this class, the evaluation will be based on weekly assignments and midterm and final exam. For the assignments, everything is worth 100 points. For the assignments, you want to make sure to turn them in on time, or you lose 20 points automatically. If the assignment is more than 1 week late, you get 0 points. So you want to make sure to stay on top of your time management and turning in homework assignments. Okay. The quizzes are always online. Everything in my class is open book, so you can look up as you need resources, but there are time constraints usually. And so the quizzes, they're administered on Canvas, and they're 25 questions, mix of concepts, code snippets, and things like that, multiple choice. Okay. You should have a flash drive so you can carry the code back and forth. I have tried uploading the code, and then you download it, and it doesn't, there are permission issues with the machine, so I think it will be much easier for everyone if you just bring the code on a flash drive. So I'd like you to do this. Okay. Attendance is not mandatory, so I know sometimes you might not make it to class. I try to make the recordings available, but I highly encourage you to attend because you will learn more if you're in class, generally speaking, and you learn from each other as well. You maybe help each other. And that's a programming class, and you know what this means. You have to spend hours and hours coding, so make sure to have proper time allocated for that purpose. Okay. And if there are any students with special issues, just let me know after class so I can work with you. The model is based pretty much exclusively on the book, so we'll follow the book and we'll get through as much as we can. Questions?
Is there a digital version of the book?
I believe so. Yeah, some students get the digital version.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get the ebook, I think is what it's called. All right. So do you have any questions on the syllabus? So let's take a look on the screen share. Let's take a look around Canvas together. Is everyone logged into Canvas successfully? Okay, so what do you need to know? Well, the syllabus is here. If you want to print a copy of the syllabus, there is a printer here, but I don't generally print hard copies, but it's available right here for you. The class material will be delivered in weekly modules, such as this one. Something to point out, when you click here, there is a double link, so it's not blank, it's just, you have to click on the second link, and that's what Canvas does, and it will take you to the materials. Generally, we'll have about half lecture and hand coding together, and then coding time for you, but today probably more lecture, since it's our first class. All right, these are the modules. The assignments will be posted under assignments. Oh, let me show you the first assignment. So the first assignment is not graded, and it's for you to set up your environment. If you haven't already, then you're going to need to set up Java and Eclipse. This is what we need for this class. And you want to set up Java, the JDK SE, which is the standard edition. When you go to the link, there will be many different versions, but the one you want is the standard edition for the purpose of this class. And then you can grab, there is actually now Neon. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that, when I tried that link didn't work, but there's another
All right.
one.
So I need to update this link. I'll fix this for you after class or during the break, but you need to go to
doing the latest version.
Yeah, the latest version, which is Neon. I don't know what to have in the class. If you have another version, it's probably okay for what we're doing. But I will fix this so that if you are not familiar with Eclipse, you have a working link. And then you will need to get the source code from the book, which is right from this link here. And then you go to free downloads. Let me show you. So under free downloads, you can also download chapter 1 if you didn't get the book already, just for a temporary solution. And then that's the book applications and exercises. And you do have to give your, email, but I think it's what you have to do. I do require you to have the source code. And then once you information here, then you can download the source code and either use an executable or a zip file. I would recommend download the zip, let's say, and then put it on your flash drive and then expand it there. Yeah. And also recommend to keep a backup version because I might make some changes and then you might want to start with a fresh code. All right. So this will be homework. It's not graded, but if you don't get it done, you won't be able to work. So I hope you can get it working. How many are you using Macs? Ah, okay. Well, I am teaching this in Windows because we have Windows in the lab. It should be okay to get it. It should be really similar, but I don't know if you have any problems with a Mac. I'm not sure. I can try to look at it and see if we can figure it out. So for the first assignment, there is no submission. It's just for you to make sure that it works. And how would you verify it works? We're about to do the Hello World with Java. And then you can run Hello World on your laptop or your home machine. And that's generally the check you want to do at this point. Just a basic program is a Hello World. Does it work? Then things are probably, the basics are in place if your Hello World works. All right? All right, so let's send Eclipse. Also, Eclipse doesn't seem to be available from here. So we need to go to, let's see, where's it? Program files, x86.
When I told Neon, the default directory was in user folder. But, so if you don't change that, that's where we go for Neon.
In the user folder?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so on this, in this lab, it doesn't seem to do that.
Yeah.
So
that's Neon.
right, but with the neon, it probably also shows up.
You can change it, but it's default place.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying on these machines, you can't even find it if you search, even though it's there. That's what I was pointing out. But thank you. Yeah. So if you don't see it in program files, look at the users folder. All right. So here is Eclipse. And then what you can try, we can attempt to pin this to the taskbar. Let's see. Hopefully after that, it will be available for us. Oh, he did install Neon. That's good. All right. Those machines, what are you running? Windows 10? I don't know. He told me it doesn't work. But... All right. son is sick. So, of course, the first day of the quarter, we have to do some stuff. Yeah, I know. Are you better?
Better than I was.
This is a bad one. Yeah. Okay. So when you first start Eclipse, did you see this dialog with the workspace? It will present you with a possible space you can use, and I will just click OK here. Oh, hey, Sofian. So wondering where you are.
I almost forgot.
Oh. So close this. This is might be useful to look at, but we'll close it for now. So let's just create a Hello World program, because that's what we do when we start learning programming, different language and a new language, and then we'll back up, look at some slides, and then get some additional clarity into what we're doing. Now, to create a Hello World, we actually have to create a project. We're going to do a bit of introduction to using Eclipse. Is it okay, or should I magnify this? You know, please, at any time something is not clear or you can't see, you know. Can you see in the back, or do you want me to? You want me to magnify, right? Okay. All right. Let's see here. Magnify. So file new. All right. I'll do this. And we want the Java project. Project name, we can name it Hello World. And where is your project? Well, it will be under the location. You can change it, but if you are wondering where did Eclipse put my project, it will be under the location there. This tells us what version of the JRE run using. But in any case, for now, we can just say finish. And it created the folder, Hello World. This is the library here, the JRE library files. And then you see a source package. Go ahead and right-click on the source package. SRC here, and file new. And in Java, everything is a class. So to create a Hello World, we have to create a class. So we're going to create a class. The name of the file has to match the name of the class inside the file in Java. So Hello World. We're going to leave it as public. And we could create, we are going to want to use a main. So every Java class, the execution point starts with within the main program. So we need to have a main, and we could click here and it will create it for us, but I will not do it so we can hand type it since that's your first time, so you can practice it. But generally, you just click here and Eclipse will generate the main method for you. All right, so finish. And now we have a public class, Hello World. And again, the name here matches the name of the file. And everything inside the class will be contained inside the curly braces. So we have a main method, and in Java this looks like public static void with an array args. And then just for fun, this is a single line comment. And then to print to the console in Java, we use system out print line. Hello world. So nothing red there. And then to run your program, you can either go to the little run. There's several different ways. So in Eclipse, it's a very robust IDE, so you can do things in more than one way. You can press Control F11 or run or press the green button here. So I'll press Control F11. And it select the resources to save, and I can always save those resources. I always want to save. I think it's better to save before previewing, but it's an option. So I select this here, and now I have Hello World display. So this is our first Java program, the Hello World. And the console down here is going to display Hello World for you. So let's make sure that this is working for everyone. I can make it even bigger. Do you see this line? Oops, no, right here. Okay, so you need to add the class with the curly braces. You can't get into Canvas. So you're observing? I think you have to register. So auditors. So you can work with Eclipse, but you don't have access to Canvas. So I'll show you where Eclipse is based, so you can show them the programs again. So I pinned it to the taskbar in this way.
I'm still trying to download this. It said like 17 hours.
I don't know what is the code for observer.
Yeah, this is the same code, just I'm
Oh. About the seventh.
so.
That's fine. Yeah, that's
Real
fine.
quick.
Let's see.
I have some errors. I'm just looking over it.
Okay. So we need to have a semicolon at the end of each statement for one.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, it's right there.
Do we have to start?
So that's just that.
Just for your machine. May I double check this? Yeah. It doesn't start with X. So I'm doing, okay. So it's going to be on the program files x86. I don't know why, but this way it is. So you can put your taskbar. So I want to make sure everyone has the Hello World working. Again, this is our baseline test to make sure that everything is okay. The machine is not nice. And I want to encourage you, I actually have this line in the syllabus and I guess I didn't read it, but please work with each other. We have a kind of big class, so if you can help out, that's great, and we can move along faster.
Do you need to use a different name for this one?
It's first,
But it's the same
username, first initial, last name, no period.
for the user.
And then there's a, you had classes in this grouping of Latin classes, there's like 4 right here. They have a different password, so you have to have them entered at some point, but I don't.
I don't think so.
But once you're in there, regardless of how many classes you take, so you might just tell them, get the on the list.
I don't know what's up with the Wi-Fi.
We used to have, I think, Lisa Net. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, this was some.
Lisa Net might be hidden.
No, it's not hidden.
You see it?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
So our class goes until 3:15 and we'll take a 10-minute break. We'll take a 10-minute break. So system output line,
You're using that.
you print whatever you put inside the quotation marks, obviously. So if you change hello world, it will print whatever you tell.
Actually, for the print, so the print LM is it basically the same thing?
Almost. The print, if you have multiple prints, it will just stack them on the same line. Print line prints.
Well, the specific way, so. It's
But in this case, it's not the same. It's not the same.
So that's going to finish. Or finish.
Okay. Okay, because that's like. No problem. I'll try. I'll just try this. I'll try this again.
Oh, and I can't go off of like a hotspot because I don't have any reception.
Oh, you already, okay, so you already
I
need.
think I made that pick, but
Oh, it connected. Yeah, it works.
So first, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of all this. We're gonna go ahead.
Control
Oh, it's just it was in a fast change.
Let me save. Let me save.
Look at this. Conference four.
conference for now.
Come down here, what's this here? This stuff. No, I'm not gonna click.
That's at least a little better, 13 minutes. Instead of 17 hours.
Is it, you know, the wheelchair function, I was like, it's in the public static void with string arch. Is it already checked that much?
Yeah, if you check it, then you don't have to write public static void main because it will do it for you.
So, we're gonna go to file.
All right.
It's gonna take the hello world.
But what project?
Just project, the very top one.
On this project.
Yeah, here, project name, taking hello world. No space. No space. Hello world. Apple letter.
Okay, so I'd like to just take a step back and talk a little bit about Java, the big picture, if you will, or what are the uses, applications, history of Java language. And you can keep on working if you have still, if you're still troubleshooting to hello world, but I'm going to move on. So some of you, it seems to me a lot of you are out maybe and researching on your own, which is great. So to the best of your knowledge, what are the uses of Java today? Why would you want to learn Java besides that it's part of the programming track that you
I've heard the programs can be used on multiple platforms. So they can do Macs, PCs, Linux, etc.
write once, run anywhere? Okay, very good. Yes, anything else? Well, the main reason, in my opinion, and I don't think it's just my opinion, really, but I think the most important use of Java today is the use for writing Android apps. So Google made the choice to use Java as the programming language for developing Android apps. And because Android is so very popular, if you want to write Android, you need to learn Java. There are also plenty of companies who still use Java for describing business object tools. So Amazon uses Java. I haven't, maybe I should do a little more research, but for sure I know Amazon still uses Java, and many other companies as well. So there is still plenty of use for the language. It's a popular language. Some developers don't like it because it's very verbose, and also there is a issue a little bit with performance. So the joke is so I'll say, so knock knock Java. It's not necessarily as fast as we might like it to be, but that's a bit of a myth. I mean, there is something to it, but not entirely true either. So anyway, it's a great language to know, and it's certainly great to work with object-oriented paradigm, the object-oriented model. we're using Eclipse. I used to use a book with NetBeans. There are certainly other IDEs as well. I think Eclipse is the most prevalent for Java, and you can use it for other languages as well. So Java is part of the C programming languages, so it will be the same family as C++ and C Sharp. C Sharp, very similar, mostly mainly syntactic differences. I mean, the languages evolve, so that's maybe less true today, but generally very similar. Java began in 1996. Oh, that's not really a joke, but what is so Java and JavaScript, right? So students often confuse the two. So I said this in the JavaScript class, but I'll say it again. Java is to JavaScript what a car is to a carpet. So in other words, it's just the names are the same, but they're not the same otherwise. So don't confuse the two if you want to be taken seriously. All right, so Java's been around since 1996. New releases keep on coming. And the JDK, which you are going to be installing and setting up so you can work with Java, is going to include a compiler, a runtime environment, and then some other tools for Java development. There are several different editions for Java. The one you want is the SE, the standard edition. You can also build enterprise applications with the Java EE. We won't be using this right now. And there is also the ME, which is the micro edition. So make sure to get the SE when you're downloading. Make sure to pay attention. There's just a lot going on. So get the right version of the tool we're using. So Mac, Windows, Mac, Linux, Unix, pretty much is, what was your name?
Chuck.
Chuck. As Chuck said, cross-platform. And, well, with Android, I should have added that the Google Android is like a dialect and it uses older features from Java 6 and 7. So there's some newer features that are not necessarily incorporated. And also there is some messy, actually legal disputes between Oracle and Google. And this is disconcerting because it might mean that Google decides to back away from Java. But we won't worry about it right now. It hasn't happened. It might not happen, but certainly Oracle and Google have entered into legal disputes. Does anyone know anything about that of interest to add?
Interesting. I wonder if Google could do what Microsoft did and just turn it into their own language.
Yeah, or I'm wondering if they'll change it to Python, because they're changing a lot of their SDKs to Python. Well, I don't know if it's able to do Android with Python, but I do know that a lot of their SDKs for other Google applications and features, they're converting to Python.
I
So
know
we'll
that
see.
Oracle is starting to crack down on businesses that are using or trying to get them to pay now, because you've always had to pay for it, but now they're starting to bring in legal teams to make sure that you're paying for their library.
That's what Oracle is known for.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So thankfully, it's not something we need to be too
Not
concerned
yet,
about. But- So Java compared to C++, perfect. So the syntax is similar to C++. C++ generally runs faster. So as you might, if you're looking for work, you'll still see a lot of actually job postings for C and C++ because it's faster. It requires you to manage your own memory and work with pointers, so it's more challenging, but it's because of the speed, right? On the other hand, Java and C# will handle memory for you, which is very helpful. So that's the difference between C++ and Java. All right. So we don't have to worry. There is a garbage collection. We don't have to worry about managing our own memory, at least when we work with Java. Compared to C#, similar syntax, can run on any platform that has the runtime. I don't know if it's true anymore that Java runs faster than C#. I think that's no longer necessary.
Mono. It runs faster than Mono, but .NET is still faster than Java.
Yeah, so
But that's
these
what we
are,
went with right now.
right,
That's
yeah.
one.
And C#, as those of you who know, handles memory management for you as well. All right, so let's take a break and then we'll have an application to write together from scratch.
Maybe because I want to send Sorry. But it feels like there's something that's tangible. Or not, yeah, go ahead.
Is the same way you're doing?
Looks like you're not seeing it.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
finding the build packet.
Yeah.
That's so it's there now, so maybe try restarting it. But that it was missing that, so that's definitely
Yeah.
a problem. Restart it. What do you not get the latest version?
I just got into it right now off the website. This was the most recent version.
From here, from the project, go to where?
Could you remind me?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was telling you guys, this was, I need to update the link, so let me do it now.
Well, let me
I'm
tell
going
you
to
what.
ask you to
I think your link didn't work actually, so I just went straight to.
okay, yeah, so I'm going to give you a proper link. Hang on.
Okay.
They just changed the version since I put this together. So I'd like you to reinstall, please,
Okay.
from the link. And this
Okay.
hopefully
So
will
I'll
fix
have you
it.
update the link. Then I'll reinstall
So
it.
give me a second. And I'll do it.
Okay.
File, new, and go to project, right?
You check with Sarah.
So it's the neon one.
Well, I'm trying to update it and things are
Okay.
not working.
I'll
so
just
give me
wait.
a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My laptop is closed.
Maybe like.
So I put this link, so download Neon, please, and this should solve this problem. And also this link that there also. Did you fix the problem? I think you need to download version that I just no, maybe not. And they just updated the link in the sign up so that you can. Okay. But I think that's a problem.
I think everybody's just trying to get on their right now.
I managed to get mine installed. I don't know all the bit. It might just be
Yeah, I got it. I just got it.
okay. It was yeah, it was an old version. That's why it wasn't working. At the same time, I'm looking at, man, that can't be the same video. It looks like the exact same thing. And I know the Visual Studio does drop very similar to C Sharp.
Yeah, that's popular. You can't finish what has not on the Hello World and has only so I will really go to include why is this not oh, because because you already have the same maybe you change it to capital and then it
Yeah.
you cannot
I download. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is like super weak in this shit. I'm having trouble getting my phone to even connect to that.
I know.
But actually, Windows faster to download stuff.
You
download it.
because you already create a file called Hello World, and then you also create a new project called Hello World. So because the file name project name must be maybe you I want to just review how to like open file. Maybe
I didn't have a system library link to it, and I was running an old version of Eclipse. I went and installed Neon, and it automatically loaded, no errors at all.
so from open, I just from here. Run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, mine always came out as the second one. Same with yours, yeah, second one too.
You know what it is? When you check that box, it automatically throws in the
Yeah, that's probably what it was. But yeah, once I put Neon on, like I had my own file and I just want to get back to the old directory. So I was like, I don't have to turn off this
That's
one.
why I'm trying to call
There
it.
were no errors in the code anymore.
And then
So-
lower case, the first one,
Because I was like, oh yeah, like I'm already looking at this like because I took the C# last year or last quarter. I'm like, this is not. Yeah. I mean, like, I kind of like writing it like that.
So I updated the link to the in the homework assignment. So if you didn't get the latest version, just upgrade to Neon, so we're on the same page, right? And did it solve the problem for you?
Works perfect now.
Great.
No
So
problem.
there you go.
Yep.
Case in point. Okay. It doesn't seem to. Can I give you a job, Mr. TA? Can I take the- can I do the- the capital? Thank you very much. All right, so this is a console application. Reference in the console. We're going to do a lot of these applications in our class. However, you can also do GUI. We might have time to do a GUI. What does GUI stand for? So it's the same code as far as the functionality, but not from the console, but rather with a, a Java form. So this is the same program which we're actually about to do. Come to the command line versus to the GUI form. In an applet, we won't really do anything with applets because they're no longer a thing in Java. You can really run them. I've tried a lot of scientific programs where, little Fibonacci calculators and so on written with Java applets, and you can't run them anymore because of the security constraints. So it's not something we'll be concerned with. You can, however, have servlets. If you're doing web development with Java, you can have a servlet. Also not something we'll be doing in this class, but it's a possible way to do web development with servlets. And this is a Android app written in Java and XML. And we do in Spring, I do teach Android as well, and that's a pretty fun class. So you can learn how to create, actually several different apps with Android and with Java. And that's why it's important to take this class first, because Android has so much going on that you have to be solid with Java to get it to work. All right. So how Java compiles and interprets the code. So the code editor. So what is our code editor? Eclipse. But it's more than a code editor. It's actually an IDE. And ID stands for Integrated Development Environment. And so it's even more robust than a code editor such as Brackets or Sublime. All right, and so then you feed the source files. The source files have a .java extension, as you could notice. Coming from the compiler, it's going to produce the bytecodes, which are the class files. And then the JVM with the interpreter is going to connect to the operating system, and then you can have your program displayed. So which one are you using, Dylan? You're asking, did you get IntelliJ or?
Yeah, that's what I used for the last year or so, but I've recently switched to Visual Studio Code,
Okay.
which is like Brackets, but you can make it actually like an IDEA if you do plugins and extensions. And it's a lot more lightweight than say IntelliJ,
Right.
which is pretty robust.
Okay, well that's, I don't have experience with it, but. if you
Me
like
neither
it,
really
you
yet. I just switched to it, but I did like IntelliJ a lot. It's a pretty good one,
Yeah, I've had other students who like it.
and it's free for students.
So you can explore other options, but like I said, I will just stick with one because there's too many moving parts as it is. And of course, there is the official now Android development tool, which is Android Studio. And a fun fact, Android used to be developed in Eclipse. And then Google dropped support, so it's no longer supported. It was a bit of a pain to actually connect it. But in any case, it's no longer possible to develop Android applications. Well, it is possible, but it's not supported. So you need to now use Android Studio if you want to develop Android apps. Okay. And if you have an IDE, which is again more robust than just a code editor, it will contain a code editor which will allow you to do code completion and error detection, but also it will compile automatically. And we'll spend the entire session learning how to use the debugger because it's a little complicated, but it's very helpful. It would allow you to do things like see the value of your variables as you're going through your code, and so on.
That's what's nice about Visual Studio Code is it comes with a debugger already in it. So it is kind of an IDE, but it's also it's very lightweight, kind of like Brackets, but it has this.
Now, is Visual Studio is in Microsoft Visual Studio? Or
Yeah, but it's not visual. It's code, so it's not the actual. It's a lightweight Visual Studio,
Alright,
and it also has Git integration as well.
nice. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft is reaching out to
About time.
everywhere. All right, and so let's talk a little bit about how to use Eclipse. And again, the main thing you need to remember is that everything in Eclipse is a project, so you can't just have your file and then run it. This will not work, so remember this if you get lost. So you have to have a workspace. You can create a workspace, select a workspace, or change where the workspace is. And then you have to, what I showed you was we created a new project. You can also import an existing project into Eclipse, so existing projects into Workspace. You can also import archived files, such as zip files, and I'll show you this later. But in any case, if you just have a existing project, so for you, let's say you did some work in class and you want to import it at home. For this scenario, what you need to do, you can just open the file. So you have to open the existing project into the workspace from home. And that's the option you want to use, right? And then you select your project. If the project is already there, it will not allow you to import it again. So you need to, you can do a couple of different things. You can delete it from the workspace. What is a workspace, by the way? Well, it's just a folder that allows you to organize your code. But it's not just a folder, it's also how Eclipse identifies. It's a unit in Eclipse for identifying one or multiple projects. You can have a workspace with one project or with multiple projects, and then the file resides inside the project. The project can have one or multiple files, and so on. And inside a file, you can also have additional organization structures, which are called packages. And we'll talk about this in a bit. All right, but if you can't import, it's probably because it's already there. And you can just delete it, or you can sometimes, what I do is I'll just switch to a brand new workspace and then import it there. Okay, does this make sense? So here is the package explorer. We are going to write this program, but we have worked here. We created a package. We created a project Hello World with a source package. And in this case, there is an additional package created, which contains the file. If you have an exclamation mark up here and you're missing the JV system library, then something is wrong. One thing you can do is try to add it through the build path, and let me show you this. Are you raising your hand? Or?
No.
So a couple of you had exclamation mark here, and it was because it was an older version of Eclipse, but sometimes it might be just that you need to actually update the build path. So you can right-click on the project. A couple of different ways again to do it, but from here, Java build path, and then you need to make sure that you have the one we're working with right now is Java AC 1-8. All right. So double check this if you're having any issues that you have this here. You can have multiple files open. All right. So this is a bit of an overview of Eclipse. This is helpful. Last quarter, I taught this class. It was in summer. For some reason, we had a lot of issues with Eclipse, so hopefully it won't happen again. I mean, issues in terms of students being confused by the fact that it was a workspace you have to work with. But that's why I keep on repeating. It's not, you can't just work with a file. You have to work with a project within a workspace. Should have asked you to prepare some lecture. There's some coffee here. All right, well, let's write a program together. And this program is going to be a lot more than, a jump from the hello world. But it will just give you a little bit of exposure. And don't feel like you have to understand everything it's doing. The goal is to be able to type it and to get it to run. And we'll explain what it does a little bit, and we'll learn more the different parts that go into the program. It will be a future value calculator. So you give the program an initial investment, an interest rate, and the number of years, and it's going to calculate what is your future investment. This is a fairly common starting program to expose various things in programming. So that's what we're going to get code together. So back to Eclipse. All right, let's see. So again, we're going to start with a new project. Do you remember, if I ask you to start a new project, do you remember how to do it? So it will be file new, Java project. This one is going to be, name it future value, calculator. This is an example from the book, but we do it together. Hand coding seems to be a pretty good way to learn. So I do this a lot. Most students seem to like it. All right, and then a new class file. You can have multiple classes, by the way. Actually, hang on, let me show you something else. So I showed you that you can organize your code in packages. So sometimes you might have multiple files. Our projects so far are simple, but if you have multiple files, it might help to put them in what we call package. So to do so, you can say file new package. And what is a package? It's just another folder if you look at it on the hard disk, but it just allows you to organize your code. So this package, we're going to name it, let's name it FV for future value. Commonly, the packages might be the UI package, and then maybe the business rules and so on. This one will just call FV. And then here, when we right-click again, we add a class. If you just have one file, something else that's fairly common, you can just name it main with a capital M, main. And let's click here the public static void main, and we're going to let Eclipse create it for us.
Is this outside of the source directory?
It should be.
It's inside.
It should be inside. So the source is for the source code. And you see how Eclipse created the main. All right. If you need me to slow down, I would like to ask you to raise your hand and let me know. Otherwise, I assume you're keeping up. And can you see this in the back there? All right. So first, we're going to display a greeting message. So it's a comment. No. Okay, so system out print line, the same method we used for printing hello world. Here we are printing hello, welcome to the future value calculator. And we always end the Java statements with a semicolon. Someone asked earlier the difference between print and print line. So if you have a print line, it will print on one line, the next line will be on the next line. If you have print, it will print them on the same line. All right, so then the next question is, how do you get input in Java? How do you get user input? Well, there is an object called scanner that we're going to use. So we're going to have scanner SC is equal to a new scanner. system.in. And this is the object we use for scanning in user input. So we have here not exactly a problem, but you should have an error because it's not finding the scanner until we import it. So when we work with the Java packages, we have to actually import them in our file so that they're available. And what you do is if you click on the light bulb or on the red arrow there, and Eclipse will provide you several possible solutions. So the one you want is to import the scanner package. So double click here. And when we imported it, the error went away. And you can see that we have now, I double clicked or clicked, I think I single clicked on the red error. Now click on double click there. You don't have to have it like that. You can also just hand type import Java util scanner. And that's fine too. Okay. Okay, so it's giving us a little warning here that we haven't closed it because when you open the resource, you need to close it, and we're going to take care of this in a bit. Okay. So now we're going to create a string, which will be the user choice. Sorry, double, because it's a string, not a character. Then we're going to say while choice dot. So when you press equals, when you press dot, you should get some methods available from the string class because we have defined choice as a string, right? All right, and the one we want to say equals ignore case of y. And why are we doing this?
So it ignores if it's an upper or lower case.
Right, so we want to be able to proceed no matter if the user entered cap case, y, or lowercase. And then we're going to get input from the user. Remember that, again, what we're doing here is we're going to ask the user for 3 pieces of data, the investment amount and so on. And then we'll do a calculation and then present them the future value. So we need to get those 3 pieces of data from the user, and that's what we're setting up here. Okay, so to get user input, you need to ask to print to the user and then get the input back. So it will be system out print line, or print I should say. Enter monthly investment. Let's see here. Many. We also need to at some point close our while, so I'll do it now. All right, this will fix the errors. Oh, I'm curious. Let's see here. What do we have?
trying to,
What is it? Just- You're opening, not closing there.
Yeah, you're that's an open.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you guys. Okay, and then how do we actually take the input? So it is going to be the SC scanner instance that we created. Next line, but it's not as simple as that in Java. The next line takes the input as a string. And what we need to do is, we want it to be a number because we want to do math with it. So we need to convert it to a, we're going to say, first of all, we need to create a double, which is a floating point data type. We're going to create a double monthly investment variable. And then right now it's complaining because of the reason I told you, which is that we can't assign, well, first of all, I need to add a semicolon here, but we need to convert the string to a double. And so there is a class with a capital T, which has a parse double, which will convert the string to a double. And those two are not the same. The double with the lowercase is a primitive double. Okay, so a floating type, data type. The double with a capital D, it's a class in the Java library, and it's a wrapper class that just allows you to work with doubles and add some additional functionality. So that's what that is. And now we're able to take the user input, convert to a double, assign in a variable. Do you have any questions? John?
String choice Y. Are we using is string a class there, or are we declaring a variable with string? Just the words.
Both.
So is that why it's uppercase and the double is lowercase? The data type, yeah, string uppercase right there, and data type double below is lowercase. So is it
Yeah,
not?
so a string is a class. It's a data type, but it's also a class. It's a complex. It's an object.
Okay.
And the objects are always, we indicate objects with uppercase. So that's why string and double are classes.
So in that we declare it uppercase with its class, it has access to all those class properties as. Okay.
That's correct. And that's why we can say y dot, or sorry, choice dot equal ignore case.
Thank you.
Equal ignore case is a method of the string class. That's correct. And at some point, when we get, our bearings a little more, we're going to go and look at the extensive documentation, and you'll see all these methods that we're using listed as part of the classes that we're using.
So you're saying that double isn't a keyword? Because if I just use a capital double on the declaration,
Here,
there are no complaints. So it compiles.
you can, yeah, I mean, you can do that, but it's overkill.
It seems like it's just a keyword, like it's just like a nickname.
No, they're not the same. So double is a class. Double is an upper class around the primitive type. So it's like a superset.
I see.
So that's why it allows you to do it, but it's an overkill, meaning that you don't have to use the class if you can use the primitive. Does that make sense? Good question.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, so we need to do the same exercise for the other two variables that we are taking in from the user, which are the interest rate and the number of years. And we could hand type this again. Are you comfortable just to copy and reuse and modify? Okay, so let's copy lines 19 and 20 and paste them twice. And then we're going to make some changes. All right, so after the monthly investment, we also need to get the interest rate. And I should add here, after the enter monthly investment, go ahead and add a column and a space because it's going to prompt the user there. And do the same here, column and space. The interest rate, do you think we should have it as a double again? I don't think so. And it's complaining we need to now make a change to the variable name
We just called monthly.
right here.
Variable
I'm sorry.
monthly investment.
Okay. There you go. Thank you. And then down here, we have the interest yearly interest rate. And we're using what type of notation the way I'm naming my variables? Anyone?
Camel case.
We're using camel case. So we will be using camel case. Okay. So we reused our code, and now we're storing when the user enters the interest rate, we'll store it in the yearly interest rate double. And then the last one is going to be enter number of years. How many years are you going to keep your investment, this fund? Years, not year. And we could make years be a double, but just to show something different, we're only going to work with full years, so we don't allow 1.5. And then this is just so we can show that we can also have an int. So a whole number is an int. This will be years. And it turns out that in addition to the double wrapper class to work with doubles, there is the same integer class, parseInt, which will allow you to do the same, convert the string to a int, to a whole number. Okay. So this is how we got the user input. If you're having some syntax errors, just maybe continue writing with me so you don't fall behind, and then you run it and we'll troubleshoot your errors until it starts working. Next, we would like to convert the yearly values to monthly values. So we'll have a double monthly, sorry, should be lowercase. Interest rate, so we want to divide it by 12 and by 100 to convert it to a monthly interest rate. And by 100 so that we can have it at 0.35 probably, or does this make sense? All right. Okay, and then we also need the integer months, which is equal to years times 12. Next, we're going to do the calculation using a certain accounting formula. And we're going to use something called the accumulator pattern, which is a common programming pattern. All right, so double integer value starts at 0. We don't have any to start with. Int I equals 1. While I is less than or equal to the number of months. I think everyone knows the while loop from your previous class, right? Iteration. So we execute as many times as, in this case, the number of months. And then inside the loop, we're going to have a future value plus equals monthly investment. I'm going to spell this. Let's see. Keep on forgetting the H. All right. When we say plus equal as opposed to equal, what is the difference here? Does anyone remember? Speak up, whoever said that. Who said that? Does anyone remember the plus equal, the significance?
It adds the value you're assigning to the value that you're adding, and then assigns it. It's the same as saying future value equals future value plus monthly investment.
Right. As opposed to if you just said equal, it would replace it every time we go in the loop, and we don't want to do this. Right? So it's going to add the future value to the existing value every time. And it's the same as if you say future value is equal to future value plus monthly investment. It's just a shortcut form. Okay. All right, and then double. Monthly interest amount is equal to future value times monthly interest rate. It's also misspelled somehow. Let's see. And now the future value is equal to future value plus the monthly interest amount. Okay. Are we good with the loop here? Are we missing anything?
You're not incrementing the I.
We better increment the I, or otherwise we'll never leave. So I plus plus. Okay. And we're almost done. So we just need to display, well, we need to format our result and then display to the user. Okay, so get out of the curly braces for the while loop, and it's nice with Eclipse. It shows you the connection between the two curly braces. So out of the while loop, but inside the main, and then we're going to format and display the result. Okay, so future value plus. So we are going to, we're still inside the print line. When you say a plus, the plus is going to be a string concatenation, and you can continue the next line. It's still considered, white space is ignored, so it's considered the same statement. And then we want to print the future value, but we want to format it as a currency because it's dollars. So we're going to, I'll show you how to do this in Java, which is, there is a class number format, which has a method get currency instance dot format. So this is the way you have to use this class in Java. You call get currency instance and then format, and then pass the future value variable to this method, and this will allow you to format it as a currency with a dollar sign. Okay. And then system out print line just for a space there. Okay, and then we need to ask the user if they want to continue. So by the way, we are now, just to show you here, unless, let me see here. So where am I here with this curly brace? I should, if I did this correctly, it's going to map with the curly brace, which is part of the string where you're checking if the user wants to continue, right? So we're inside this while loop still. So system out print, continue, yes or no. And then we're going to set choice to sc.nextLine. So if the user says yes, we'll do it again. If the user says no, we're done. Calculate it one time. And then finally, we need to close our scanner object. So we're going to say sc.close. And then say goodbye. So I don't know, I'm just going to run this and see if it works. If not, it will point me to where I might have some typos. So let's see here. And then I'll let you work through it for the remainder of the class and make sure this code is working for everyone. But let me test it real quick. All right, that's amazing. Usually it doesn't work the first time. But take a look at least to see what it should do if you would. So monthly investment, give me a number.
17.
17. Is this what you said? Okay. Interest rate? 3.5. How many years?
20.
All right, well, that's not a bad return on investment there. If you wait 20 years, you get $5,000, almost 6,000. And then continue yes or no. So I'll say no, but I could also say yes, and we could have more fun doing this again, right? All right. Okay, so I would like you guys to work on this code to make sure it works for you. What can I do to help? Should I walk around? Do you want me to move it up or down, or what should I do? Move it up like that? The other up? Okay, so this is the end of it. All right. And then I guess I can take a look and see if you have any questions. Actually, let me turn off our recording because I think we are done with the lecturing for today. It's very strange.
That whole class. At least it went down from 17 hours. Just took it in.
What is it?